Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract success, happiness, or opportunity with ease, while others give everything they have and still feel like life is pushing back? Many thinkers, from ancient philosophers to modern psychologists, have tried to explain this mystery. Some believe the answer lies within a vast, unseen part of us, the subconscious mind. It's been described as the hidden engine behind our habits, emotions, and patterns, a quiet force that often shapes life more than willpower ever could. What if this part of you has been quietly guiding your reality all along? And what if understanding it could change the way you approach your goals, relationships, and sense of purpose? Today, we'll explore 12 perspectives that many people use to understand and work with their subconscious mind. These aren't scientific laws or guarantees, they're frameworks drawn from Hermetic philosophy, psychology, and modern interpretations of consciousness. Think of them as tools for reflection, not commandments. Use what resonates, question what doesn't, and notice how each idea invites you to think differently about your own inner world. Before we dive in, ask yourself this. If your subconscious mind truly influences the quality of your life, what patterns might it be running right now? And what could shift if you started communicating with it more intentionally? Let's begin. Secret 1. The principle of mental creation. Hermetic philosophy teaches that all is mind. Modern psychology might echo that by saying perception creates experience. In simple terms, the thoughts and images we hold most vividly often shape how we interpret and respond to the world. Many spiritual teachers suggest that the subconscious doesn't distinguish between imagination and reality. It reacts to emotional conviction. When you visualize something with feeling, you're rehearsing success on the inside, which can prime your brain and body to act in alignment with it. This isn't about forcing outcomes through wishful thinking. It's about cultivating emotional states that support constructive behavior. When imagination and emotion line up, your mind becomes more receptive to new possibilities. Secret 2. The principle of reflection. The Hermetic saying, "As within, so without," points to an old idea. Our outer circumstances often mirror our inner world. From a psychological lens, our beliefs shape what we notice, how we interpret events, and the opportunities we feel worthy of pursuing. If life feels out of balance, some traditions suggest looking inward first. By identifying and reshaping limiting beliefs, people often notice their external reality changing in response, not by magic, but because their perception, energy, and choices shift. Instead of battling the mirror, clean the lens. The work happens on the inside first. Secret 3. The principle of vibration. Everything in the universe moves. From atoms to galaxies, nothing is truly still. Many belief systems use vibration as a metaphor for emotional frequency. What you dwell on emotionally tends to echo back into your experience. From a neuroscience perspective, your brain's reticular activating system filters information to match what you repeatedly focus on. When you dwell on fear, you notice threats. When you dwell on gratitude, you spot opportunities. So while vibration may sound mystical, you can see it as emotional momentum. You don't always attract what you want. You tend to notice and reinforce what you repeatedly think and feel. The practice, then, is to raise your inner tone through awareness and gratitude, letting your energy become an invitation instead of a reaction. Secret 4. The principle of polarity. In ancient teachings, opposites aren't enemies, they're extremes of the same spectrum. Cold and heat, fear and excitement, lack and abundance. Each contains the potential to transform into its opposite. Applied to the subconscious, this means you can shift states by adjusting focus. The energy behind anxiety can also fuel anticipation. Doubt can evolve into curiosity. Instead of resisting a negative feeling, you can explore its polarity and redirect it. This principle reminds us that emotional mastery doesn't come from suppression, but from transmutation, turning dense feelings into lighter ones through awareness and choice. The mind is a dimmer switch, not an on-off button. Secret 5. The principle of rhythm. Everything moves in cycles. Tides, seasons, breath, even motivation. Life isn't linear, and neither is your subconscious receptivity. There are times to plant ideas and times to rest and let them integrate. Many traditions teach that results come more easily when we move with the rhythm rather than against it. Recognizing your personal highs and lows, creative bursts, emotional dips, or quiet phases allows you to align your actions accordingly. The subconscious is most open when you're relaxed, daydreaming, or drifting off to sleep. Those are the fertile windows where repetition and imagery can sink in naturally. Working with rhythm isn't laziness, it's intelligent timing, a reminder that stillness can be just as productive as action. Secret 6. The principle of cause and effect. Every action, thought, and emotion sets something in motion. Ancient teachings frame this as cosmic law. Modern science would call it consequence. Either way, the message is simple. What you nurture internally eventually echoes externally. When you take responsibility for your inner causes, your beliefs, self-talk, and emotional tone, you begin influencing effects more consciously. This doesn't mean you control every event in life. Randomness and mystery still exist. But owning your inner causes gives you creative power within what you can shape: your attitude, response, and alignment. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you might ask, "What pattern in me could be evolving right now?" That shift from victim to observer transforms reaction into growth. These first 6 insights invite us inward, to see the subconscious not as something mystical or mechanical, but as a living partner shaped by focus, emotion, and rhythm. And if you've ever noticed that progress seems to come in waves, that breakthroughs appear right after you let go, or that opportunities surface when you finally trust your timing, the next few ideas will feel like missing pieces falling into place. Because what comes next goes deeper than theory. It's where the patterns of balance, symbolism, repetition, and intuition begin to reveal how inner awareness quietly shapes outer experience. So take a breath, lean in, and let's continue. This is where awareness starts to turn into alignment. Secret 7. The principle of balance. In many traditions, creation is said to flow through 2 complementary forces, often described as masculine and feminine, active and receptive, doing and being. Rather than literal gender traits, these terms symbolize energies within all of us. The active principle sets intentions, defines goals, and takes deliberate action. The receptive principle allows, trusts, and creates space for things to unfold. Too much of one creates imbalance. Forcing outcomes without openness leads to burnout, while endless waiting without direction leads to stagnation. The subconscious responds most powerfully when these 2 energies are in harmony. When action is aligned with faith, and discipline is paired with flow. You could think of it as planting a seed and then allowing nature to do its part. The gardener doesn't shout at the soil, they simply nurture and trust the process. Secret 8. The language of symbols. The subconscious mind doesn't communicate in logic. It speaks in images, sensations, and emotion. That's why visualization, music, art, and storytelling often reach us more deeply than plain instruction. When you create a mental picture of your goals, the sights, sounds, and feelings, you're speaking the native tongue of your subconscious. Symbols bypass analysis and anchor meaning directly into emotion. That's why personal rituals, affirmations, or even vision boards can be effective. They turn abstract goals into sensory language. In psychological terms, you're linking motivation to a vivid representation your mind understands. In spiritual terms, you're sending a signal to the creative field of consciousness. Either way, it's the bridge between imagination and embodiment. So when you practice visualization, don't just see your desire, feel it, smell it, hear it. Make it a living story. The more real it feels internally, the more your subconscious believes it's possible. Secret 9. The power of now. The subconscious doesn't operate in the past or future. It responds to what you emotionally believe right now. When you constantly say, "I want this," your subconscious hears, "I don't have it." But when you embody the feeling of already being that person, you align your inner state with what you wish to experience. This is why gratitude is often called a gateway emotion. Feeling thankful in advance signals that your mind accepts something as real, opening pathways for new behavior and opportunities. It's less about pretending and more about practicing presence, acting as if to train your nervous system to live from the state you're moving toward. In psychology, this mirrors cognitive reframing and behavioral rehearsal. In spirituality, it's seen as faith in action. Either way, when you live from the energy of fulfillment instead of waiting for it, you begin to magnetize circumstances that reflect that inner state. Secret 10. The law of repetition and emotion. The subconscious learns through rhythm, repetition, and feeling, much like how we master music or language. Repetition without emotion is memorization. Repetition with emotion becomes transformation. Every thought you revisit lays down another neural pathway. The stronger the emotion attached to it, the deeper that pathway goes. That's why consistent gratitude, affirmations, or journaling can reshape inner patterns over time. But repetition doesn't mean obsession. It means nurturing a state. Instead of hammering the same words daily, embody their meaning. Let your practice feel alive. One heartfelt moment of conviction can sometimes do more than weeks of mechanical effort. In short, your subconscious doesn't respond to how many times you repeat something. It responds to how real it feels when you do. Secret 11. The field of synchronicity. Across cultures and belief systems, there's an idea that when your inner world aligns with clarity and purpose, outer life starts to reflect that harmony through coincidences or meaningful timing. Carl Jung called this synchronicity, the intersection of inner intention and outer event. Some interpret this as the subconscious mind working with a larger field of intelligence, connecting dots our conscious mind can't yet see. Others see it as pattern recognition, the brain noticing opportunities that match your focus. Whichever way you view it, paying attention to synchronicity can train intuition and build trust in your path. The key is to stay open. When something feels aligned, take action. Inspiration without movement fades quickly, but inspired action often opens doors that logic alone couldn't predict. Think of your subconscious as a GPS. It doesn't force outcomes, but it quietly reroutes you when you listen to subtle guidance. Secret 12. Conscious co-creation. The final secret is less about control and more about partnership, aligning your personal desires with something larger than yourself. When your goals also serve growth, compassion, or contribution, they tend to unfold with greater ease. Some call this co-creating with the universe. Others simply call it living in flow. When you align your subconscious intentions with values that uplift rather than only satisfy, you access deeper motivation and resilience. Mastery of the subconscious isn't about bending reality to your will. It's about harmonizing with it. You become less reactive, more deliberate, and more attuned to opportunities that fit your authentic path. In this view, manifestation isn't about demanding outcomes. It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts them. When you put these 12 ideas together, they form a map. Not a set of laws, but a way to explore the connection between thought, emotion, and experience. The subconscious mind, according to these traditions, isn't a mystical servant or a fixed machine. It's a living system that reflects what you feed it most consistently. Through awareness, repetition, emotional alignment, and purpose, you can gradually steer it, not by force, but through partnership. Remember, this isn't about guaranteed results. It's about cultivating an inner state that helps you meet life with clarity and openness. The journey of mastering the subconscious mind is, ultimately, the journey of mastering awareness itself, learning to direct your focus toward what you wish to nurture. This content explores mindset and consciousness theories from a motivational and educational perspective. It is not meant to promise or guarantee specific outcomes, but to inspire self-reflection, growth, and personal development. If this exploration spoke to you, remember to like, subscribe, and join me as we continue uncovering ideas that help you live and create more consciously.